Welcome back to Château de la Coutere, and of course it isn't summer anymore. It is the depths of winter, and life in a chateau in winter is very different than the summer. We're now into what we're calling phase 2 of the chateau renovations, and this has meant actually messing around with 3 different rooms all at the same time. One of the rooms is the drawing room, which is also known as the dining room, a second dining room that we haven't been using for that purpose. It's actually been Poppy and Lily's playroom. The second room we've been altering is what is existing at the moment is my office suite. Now this was actually originally the servants' stairwell, and when we moved to the chateau it had no lighting, no electricity. It was just pretty much a big cupboard. So my office is now going to be the new playroom for Poppy and Lily. So I had to find somewhere else for my office. Can you guess where we found? Yep, that's right. Under the staircase, opposite the little bathroom, where the cloakroom is. Not ideal, but it's nice and snug, and it's working. And I'm already 20,000 words into my first book. So Julian worked hard a couple of weeks ago to adapt the snug into a new playroom for Poppy and Lily. So here's a room we've never shown you before. We have done absolutely nothing to this room. Oh, the cobwebs on that chandelier. This we've been using as a playroom, although the first winter that we moved here, which is exactly 3 years ago, we did use it as a living room for us because the salon next door did not have a working fireplace. And it was freezing, and this one worked a little bit better, although it filled the room with smoke, as you can see. So at the moment, 3 years, the twins, a little bit of Holly as well, have been using it as a bit of a playroom, and we are now, or Julia is now dismantling this. There's been sort of a desk area there and shelves above. I think the previous owners, if I recall, they used to use this as a playroom as well. So what we're doing is we're transforming another area into a smaller playroom for them, because this will then be a guest dining room. But as you can see, it's in a bit of a not a nice state with the walls and the curtains, but it served its purpose, and Shadow's enjoyed sleeping in here as well. But it's time to move on. He used materials from the old playroom, which will now soon become our guest dining room, and installed a desk and shelves area, removed the last of the old water pipes and the radiator, and soon it was ready for Poppy and Lily. So now, after those 2 manoeuvres out the way, new office for me, new playroom for Poppy and Lily, we can finally get on to the drawing room, which is going to be the new guest dining room. You can see here on the original floor plan of the chateau that it's in the top left hand corner. It's the room next to the salon. It used to be a bureau, which is the office, and it also had a little wardrobe next to it as well. So once again, we're back in our work clothes, and Julian's been very busy in this room. So let's just give you a bit of a panorama of the room and how it looks now. We're in the depths of winter at the moment. This room only has one tiny chandelier, which Julian's going to rectify, and we're going to add more lighting. But this is the way the room stands now. Julian has done a fantastic job on sanding the floor, and it's come up absolutely beautiful. So as with all our other renovation rooms, we will be then staining and varnishing this floor to protect it, as you've seen in our other videos, and they come up really, really nice. The one thing I am grateful for in buying this house is the fact that it's got these beautiful oak hardwood floors. So after all the difficulties that we've had, that's one little plus. So this room has floor to ceiling French doors there, and it has these 2 other windows here. And this room will be used from April to November, but it's going to be our second dining room, the dining room that will be for our guests when we open up our bed and breakfast again. So this is the plan. Now Julian's not only been sanding the floor, he started work on the fireplace, which has been a huge mess. This is the room that is next to the grand salon. The door there is the one that leads to the salon. And then here is the fireplace that is back to back with the one in the salon. Now, without going into all the ins and outs of what happened with the salon and how we had to fit the new log burner there, the plan is that we will not have a log burner in here. It won't be necessary. And the decoration will be textured wallpaper, and we don't want any smoke or anything affecting the wallpaper at all. So it'll be quite detailed, this room. So the plan is that we're going to redo this fireplace, have really nice tiles in, and a nice hearth at the bottom, and redo this oak surround, because it was all up and down and not flat at all. Now this is marble, this fireplace, and we have tried to clean it. You can see where this has all been blackened by the smoke. So we have started cleaning this up. It was absolutely black all the way across. So it's come up a little bit better, but we've still got some work to do on that. Stone, any kind of stone, if it's not sealed, is really porous. And that's what's happened here. The smoke and everything has been taken in by the stone. So hopefully we can rectify that a little bit, but it'll never come up completely white. But that's just the way things are with the original features sometimes. So if you've got any tips on how to get that clean, please let us know in the comments. They'd be appreciated. The panelling is what Julian is working on. So are we all right to have a quick chat, Julian?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody, guys, by the way. It's the first time we've spoken to you in a few months, so...
Hello, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. How's it going?
It's going okay.
Yeah, you've done quite a bit of progress since I took a photo of the room originally. I've been beavering away on other stuff admin-wise, and came in yesterday to see that a lot of the panelling is starting to take shape. So how have you been doing that?
With a laser level.
Yeah.
Which, to get, the first thing I did was the dado rail, so I could get a level to go up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically worked then on the panels. I thought they were all one
So we
piece.
pre-purchased these panels, didn't we?
Yeah, pre-purchased, pre-made panels. Only they come in 2 pieces, the outer piece,
Mm-hmm.
and then the inner piece.
Yep.
So again, laser level used to try and get a level
All around the room.
all around the room.
The same height, yeah.
And then glued them on, which was all right for some of the walls. Some of the walls, that one in particular, the other side of the fireplace,
Mm-hmm.
is really bowed, and it goes in and out in the space of, that's about 59 centimetres.
Mm-hmm.
153 centimetres. In the space of 53 centimetres, it goes in and out a centimetre.
Yeah.
Which means that it's one of the pieces proud here
Mm-hmm.
by about 5mm, and likewise down at the bottom 5mm, but I'll be able to fill it and hide it.
Yeah,
so
once
okay.
that is, I think, thinking about it, because we were quite surprised when you get them in the package. They come as one panel. It looks like it's a complete, yeah, you show them, it looks like a complete panel. So we were surprised when you started a couple of days ago, yeah. So that's how we bought them. We were surprised when we started a couple of days ago that they were in 2 pieces, and they'd actually glued the centre of the panel onto cardboard, hadn't they? So you had to then take all that off. But I suppose, looking at it, this might be one of the reasons that it allows you to adapt it a bit, but you still would have been able to do that if it was a solid panel, wouldn't you? So
No, well, it'd be more rigid, so it might have even been harder to
Yeah,
manipulate into place.
I think that is the reason why they probably come as two pieces to enable you to do that. Some people, when they're creating panelling from scratch like this, they will actually put a piece of flat wood on the walls first. When we were in England and we were trying to recreate panelling, because we had a little snug room, didn't we, which we also called the drawing room. This will be called the drawing room. We had we had floor to ceiling panelling, didn't we, in that room? Really nice, beautiful oak panelling. But the problem was, and we didn't know when we bought the house, that it had condensation. The walls couldn't breathe, could they? Because of the concrete on the outside of the walls. And we could, when we sat in there, we could actually hear dripping. So we had to take all of it off, and we wanted to reinstate some panels like this, some kind of half or quarter panelling. And the carpenter said, right, to make all the walls flat, what we'll do is we'll put wood or MDF on the walls first. The problem was the walls couldn't even take that, could they? And if you remember, we put that, you put that panelling on, and within 2 days, literally the wall just started to condense and it all fell off, didn't it? So we have learned from that, particularly in old buildings, and the whole thing with that renovation is we had to make the house breathe again, so that involved walls, floors, render, everything all being redone. And in here, it's about not sealing up the walls. Definitely, they need to breathe. So doing it in this way, once it's all painted up and all the panelling and the dado and the skirts and everything are the same colour, it should look pretty seamless, as if it's solid panelling. That's the hope anyway. And we know that if you follow these kind of channels, you've probably seen this created again and again, and it does look quite effective. So, right, well, I'll let you get on with that, Julian. Thank you. So my job this morning, hopefully it won't take too long, is I've got to finish off what someone else started in this property. We're not sure who, but it's basically finishing the join between the wall and the ceiling, the plasterboard that's been basically put in between these beams. And what they've not done is they've basically not sealed the edge. So I need to get the scrim tape and the jointing compound and see if I can actually do that. We're not planning on plastering the walls because, of course, I've just said we're having textured wallpaper like a damask kind of design or jacquard, and that needs doing because otherwise there's nothing for the wallpaper to put up to. There needs to be a join between the ceiling and the wall. So we've got it on there, that edge there. And then this edge over here that I need to do. So this is two ends. And then the other sections, the other sides, we've got beams right in between the wall and the ceiling. And then the same here, up here. So that's not needed on that edge, but what is needed, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, I'm going as slow as I can. What is needed here is this bedroom, this room is actually above Poppy and Lily's bedroom. And above here is, I'll put a link to the video here about their renovation. And here is where the shower was above here. And there's been lots and lots of leaks from this shower that no longer exists anymore. And this is the damage. Fortunately, what we want to do is actually run another beam across here anyway, which in effect will repair what we need to do. Stop the plaster from bowing, because the plasterboard itself is in pretty good condition apart from the fact that it's bowing slightly. And I suspect it's just because it's not actually secured into anything on that edge. So we're going to... Yeah, it will be bowed because of the water that's come through there. But the fact that it's been a slow leak all the time, it's not completely damaged the plasterboard. So because we need to put a beam there anyway, we'll see how it looks once Julian's put the beam up. And hopefully that will be what is just needed there, and a bit of sanding down before the wallpaper goes on it. Okay, so this is what I'm up to at the moment. You can see now that I've done one joint, and how much better it looks. Even if you were just painting, that would give a nice crisp edge between the ceiling and the wall. However, we're not painting, we're wallpapering. So I've got all prepared, and there's 6 little gaps in this area. So having done this quite a few times now, I've got prepared, and I've actually cut all the pieces to length so that this jointing compound, which is here, which is what you use, you don't actually use plaster. I've done that as an error before as well, and actually use plaster, but you use proper jointing compound. In France here we call it sople joint, and basically I use the tools of a plasterer, a little small trowel to get into the spaces, put some on the hod, as I call it, and yeah, we just get up there, and all you do is you literally put it into the gaps, apply it quite thickly, and then you put your piece of jointing tape between the 2 areas, half on the ceiling, half on the wall, and then joint over it with the jointing compound to create a nice sort of plaster solid base. Smooth it all over and give it a fine sand afterwards, and then that will create a nice crisp edge for the wallpaper to sit up nicely against. Because we're not able, because of the beams in here, we didn't want to go over these beams, we didn't want to board over this ceiling because we quite like the beams. So we decided to not create a new ceiling, and because you can see it's already been overboarded as well, in between these beams, the top of the window there, which is about 3.2 meters, that wouldn't have worked anyway. So we're not able to do the coving in here between the beams or over the beams as a different ceiling. So it's important that we got a nice crisp edge for the wallpaper. And just like that, this section is done. It's just giving me a nice crisp line now across there. It's not going to be easy for Julian to wallpaper, but it'll be a lot easier than it would have done if we'd have left it. So out here, by the way, excuse the dirty windows, this will be the terrace. It just needs its spring tidy up, and the rest of the chairs and things bring around. But this will be where guests will be able to eat the breakfast outside if they want to. So it's time to do all that, get some nice flowers and everything else. But yeah, it's a really, really nice place. This is the second terrace. There's one outside the dining room as well. It's a really nice place to have your breakfast. Please join us next time. We're going to reveal the wallpaper, the colour scheme, and what we have planned for this room. We're really excited. In the meantime, why not connect with us in our Facebook group at Life at Château de la Coutere. Bye for now.